セミナー中は携帯電話の電源はお切りいただくか、マナーモードに設定いただきますようお願いいたします。本日はイベント終了後にネットワーキングセッションがございます。ぜひご参加くださいませ。それではイベント開始までしばらくお待ちくださいませ。Before event start, we would like to request you to turn off your mobile phone or set it to silent mode during the event. After the event, a networking session with light refreshment will be held. We hope you will join us. Thank you for your cooperation. We will start the event shortly. Thank you for your participation to the event on G20, India's Presidency, Science20, Important Development and Initiatives Today. 本日は G20 議長国インド科学20重要な進捗と取り組みにご参加いただきまして誠にありがとうございます。First, may I invite Mr. Mayank Joshi, Deputy Chief of Mission, Embassy of India, Tokyo to make inaugural remarks. はじめに在日インド大使館首席講師マヤンク女子より開会のご挨拶をいただきます。
Thank you. Professor Ashutosh Sharma, President of Indian National Science Academy and Co-Chair of Science20. Professor Ambud Sagar, the Policy Chair of Science20. Ladies and gentlemen who are here today amongst us to participate in this event, a very good afternoon to all of you and konnichiwa. I am delighted to welcome you all to this event dedicated to Science20 or S20 being conducted under India's G20 presidency this year. I would also like to extend a special acknowledgement to the Science20 Secretariat team which has joined us today virtually. Friends, I am happy to state that India is holding the presidency of the G20 from December 1, 2022 to November 30, 2023 this year. Since then, we have been organizing a series of monthly events at the Embassy of India, Tokyo, to showcase the achievements of India's G20 presidency as it progresses through the year. In today's event, our focus is on the activities and priorities of Science20, a crucial and critical engagement group within the G20. India recently hosted the Science20 Summit in Coimbatore, which is a testament to our commitment to the theme for Science20 under India's presidency, which is disruptive science for innovative and sustainable development. We will hear in greater detail about Science20, S20's India's theme and priority from the S20 speakers subsequently. India's G20 presidency revolves around the theme of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or one earth, one family, one future. This has been inspired by the ancient Sanskrit text of Maha Upanishad. The G20 presidency also heralds for India the start of an era of Amrit Kal, a 25-year period commencing from the 75th anniversary of our independence on 15th August 2022, leading up to the centenary of its independence, which will be celebrated in 2047. During India's G20 presidency, as you all know, we have made significant strides in promoting global cooperation on issues of critical importance, while keeping the needs of the global South at the forefront of our efforts. We have already seen a vast number of working groups and engagement groups which have come together to outline the key priorities of this year's G20. We have also seen several ministerial meetings held in India, and as you all know, over 200 meetings have been held in a large number of cities, nearly 50 cities and above in India, to celebrate and commemorate G20. Supporting inclusive and resilient growth, promoting progress on SDGs, that is Sustainable Development Goals, advancing technological transformation through quality digital public infrastructure, and combating climate change, food security, health security are some of the key priorities of India's presidency. And I'm very happy to say that Japan, as a key strategic partner of India, has also been working together with us to make G20 successful. As we move into the eighth month of India's G20 presidency, we look forward to hosting the G20 Leaders Summit in September 2023 in New Delhi. G20 has a critical role to play in shaping the future of the global economy, and India is committed to working with its partners and Japan to promote economic growth and development and to find innovative solutions to the world's most pressing problems. Thank you for your attention and participation in this program. I hope you find today's events productive. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your remarks. Next, I would like to request Professor Ashutosh Sharma, co-chair of Science20 and president of Indian National Science Academy, to make chair's remarks virtually. 続きまして、科学20共同議長、インド国立科学アカデミー学長アシュトシュ・シャルマ教授より議長としてのご挨拶をいただきます。オンラインでのご登壇となりますので、スクリーンをご覧くださいませ。
Oh, I'm so sorry. My name is Professor Narendra Mehra, and I'm the Vice President of the Indian National Science Academy. Have been intimately involved in the organization of the S20 under the leadership of Professor Sharma. He's unfortunately held up with something at IIT, and he has asked me to go ahead and make it a presentation first. Maybe he will join us soon. So may I, if you would allow me? Thank you very much. I'm just going to share my slides. Are you able to see my slides now? Okay. Thank you very much for those initial remarks. We are very happy to share with you some of the activities that we have done on Science20 during the Presidency of India in 2023. Under the Science20, the main theme that we had chosen has been the transformative science for sustainable development. And if I give you a summary of the G20, the G20 summit, as you know, is held annually under the leadership of a rotating presidency. G20 was, of course, established in 1999 as a response to the financial crisis of the late 90s and has since evolved into a platform for coordinating policies on global economic issues. The primary objective is to promote global economic growth, financial stability, and international cooperation. The forum serves as a platform for leaders and policymakers from member countries to engage in high-level discussions and address pressing economic challenges. During the presidency of India, there were 215 meetings of G20 done across all states of India and across all union territories. This is the picture that shows you the G20 countries. As you can see, that they are spread over all the continents of the world. And in India, of course, South Asia is represented by India. There are 19 countries, and the 20th is the European Union. This is the G20 work stream. There is a Sherpa track, there is a finance track, and there are engagement groups. There are 10 engagement groups. Under the Sherpa track, of course, there are 13 working groups encompassing almost everything. You can see agriculture, anti-corruption, culture, digital economy, employment, education, even health over there. And there are initiatives, there are 4 initiatives there. But I want to talk to you about the engagement group. There are 10 of them, and Science20 is one of those 10 engagement groups. The Science20 has become the voice of global science because of the sheer size of the G20. The Science20 is a prominent G20 engagement group that convenes leading scientists, researchers, and policymakers through science academies of the G20 member states and participating international organizations to provide the G20 with evidence-based science policy recommendations. Science20 was established in 2017 when Germany was the chair of G20, and S20 aims to foster international collaboration and promote science-driven policies within the G20 framework. This influential platform conducts research, develops policy recommendations, and advocates for the integration of science and technology in addressing pressing issues like climate change, public health, and sustainable development. India's G20 or the Science20 has been seventh in the series. You can see that starting from 2017, when Germany was the chair, and the host country is sort of mandated to select the theme. So the theme selected by Germany in 2017 was improving global health strategies and tools to combat communicable and non-communicable diseases. 2018 was Argentina, where the major theme was food and nutrition security, improving soils and increasing productivity. 2019, Japan was the chair, and in fact, they came up with a very interesting topic: threats to coastal and marine ecosystems, conservation of the ocean environment, with special attention to climate change and marine plastic waste. In 2020, it was Saudi Arabia the chair, and the theme centered around four sort of task forces: future of health, circular economy, digital revolution, and connecting the dots. In 2021, when the COVID-19 pandemic was at its peak, naturally, Italy came up with the theme pandemic preparedness and the role of science. Last year, during the presidency of Indonesia, the Science20 theme revolved around recover together, recover stronger. We in India had a lot of debate with a number of very important prominent scientists. We came up with this theme of disruptive science for sustainable development. And I'll tell you that during the Coimbatore meeting, the final meeting, then this disruptive word was changed to transformative science for sustainable development. And here we had three basic themes: clean energy for greener future, universal holistic health, and connecting science to society and culture. This is the leadership of Science20, and you can see Professor Ashutosh Sharma right there. He has been the co-chair, also because he has been the president of the International Science Academy. So therefore, all our correspondence with other member academies has been through that. But he has been ably assisted by Professor Ajay Sood and Dr. Shekhar Mandal. I want to show you a little video before I go on to talk about the S20 activities. Thank you very much, and that has been the major sort of encouragement to us from the Prime Minister of the country, talking about disruptive knowledge. So therefore, looking into this and with the approval of the other member academies, major theme was changed from disruptive to transformative science for sustainable development, with the three focus areas, as I already said: clean energy for greener future, universal holistic health, and connecting science to society and culture. In fact, connecting science to society and the culture has been the real suggestion that came from Professor Ashutosh Sharma, and this has been appreciated by everybody in member states, because it's time now to talk time now to talk about citizen science, time now to talk about the role of science for the society in general, for culture, for maintenance of culture, and for maintenance of heritage. So this is the process that we followed. We had a total of 5 meetings of S20 done, spread across the length and breadth of the country. The inception meeting was done in January, right upfront in Pondicherry on January 30 and 31, where it was just an inception meeting talking about how do we go about the 3 main tracks. And then you can see the 3 main sub-tracks that we had: clean energy, universal holistic health, and connecting science to society. These were also taken up separately in separate meetings of the Science20. And we call that the track in the meetings there. And then this summit meeting was done just a few days ago in the month of July itself in Coimbatore. The inception meeting was done in Pondicherry under the chair of Professor Ashutosh Sharma, as you can see him right there. The theme was that in order to make a sustainable, enlightened, compassionate, and happy society, we need new ways of thinking and disruptive technology with the lights and shadows of science. In Pondicherry, therefore, we introduced the overarching theme, Disruptive Science for Sustainable Development, which was later changed to Transformative Science for Sustainable Development after negotiations between academies of the G20 member states, and 3 focus areas, as has already been talked about. Now, this is one picture of all the heads of the academies that assembled in Pondicherry in January to talk about the inception meeting of Science20. Our first track meeting was in Agartala, the state, the northeastern state of Tripura. And here the focus of the whole theme was clean energy for greener future. The thematic conference was focused on 3 major areas of concern: hydrogen energy, energy from the oceans, and new generation energy storage. It was observed that clean energy is a disruptive science that will lead the way in transitioning to a more sustainable future. A just transition to clean energy sources can provide us with an opportunity to create new jobs. This shift could be achieved through increased investment in clean energy technology, research and development, improved access to capital for businesses investing in clean energy production, and better education regarding the benefits of transitioning away from the traditional forms of energy generation. Again, this is one of the pictures of some of the academy heads who had come to Agartala to talk about this particular theme. Our second theme was on universal holistic health, and this was discussed in that beautiful place called Lakshadweep on May 1 and 2. This meeting focused on 3 sub-themes: physical and physiological dimensions of health, mental health and well-being, and the traditional systems of healing and health promotion. The focus here has been how to remain healthy and what do we do to make sure that we do not need to go to the hospital at all. Keep yourself in healthy state and in the well-being state. The conference therefore highlighted the importance of maintaining balance and harmony in all aspects of health and taking a proactive approach to health policy. It emphasized the need to empower individuals to take the responsibility for their mental and physical health and the importance of integrating evidence-informed beneficial practices from different traditional medicinal systems. I want to show you here that last year in Rome, there was a meeting of 4 international organizations: the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization, UN Environmental Program, the WHO, and the World Organization of Animal Health. And this is the report actually on health. The report promotes the concept of One Health approach for the prevention of zoonotic spillovers that pose the danger advancing from local outbreaks to global pandemics. This will involve a commitment to ecological sustainability, linked microbial surveillance across wildlife, veterinary populations and human habitats, and speedy knowledge sharing of emerging infections at the global level. And this report had also highlighted the need to have capacity for genomic surveillance that must be enhanced in all countries there. But there's a need to develop a One Health framework to address issues related to our shared planet's sustainability. So this has been our guiding force also for the Universal Holistic Health Conference that we had in Lakshadweep. As you see that this particular conference in Rome last year also had six um, action points, its joint plans of action tracks that they are recommended, all centered around human, animal, and environmental health being interconnected and must be addressed together if we were to achieve the universal holistic health. So therefore, One Health and planetary health and courage inclusivity and holism for sustainability. And we'll tell you towards the later part of my talk that what are the action points that we have thought about in the S20 during this year. This is again a picture of the participants who were there in Lakshadweep, and you can see that it includes people from the various member states. The third theme, the sub-theme has been connecting science to society and culture. This was discussed in Bhopal just last month, and everybody was very excited to sort of hear about this. This is the first time that anybody was talking about citizen science and connecting science to society. The meeting consisted of, again, three main sessions and focused on science and technology for education and skill, law and governance, heritage and culture. Discussion also majorly focused on frontier technologies, societies of the future, and artificial intelligence for society and culture. In this meeting, actually, global digital heritage initiatives and international panel on emerging technologies were introduced for consideration. Again, this was really suggested for the first time, and thanks to Dr. Ashutosh Sharma for his vision on this. This is again a picture showing the discussions and a very intense sort of the discussions that were held during the meeting. Now, this month, on July 21, 22, we had our summit, the last meeting actually in Coimbatore, where the idea was to now to look at the joint communique, share it with amongst the member states, and try and bring about a consensus. So here, recognizing the role of disruptive science in advancing sustainable development, the S20 affirmed the role of strengthening international cooperation to help achieve clean energy for a green and just future, universal holistic health, and having better pathways for connecting science to society, culture, and heritage. The Science20 Summit meeting featured sessions dedicated to finalizing the text of the Science20 communique. A draft communique provides policymakers with valuable science-driven recommendations, emphasizing the importance of collaboration among G20 nations. The text of the communique was finalized by all the participating G20 members and invited countries and international organizations. And this slide, it of course shows you, this was done in the beautiful Isha Foundation, the Sadhguru Ashram, and everybody enjoyed over there. The great sort of atmosphere that the Isha Foundation had in Coimbatore, and we also had a special lecture given to us by the Sadhguru. In addition to these, during the year, we have also had a number of outreach and Jan Bhagidari programs done. You can see in the center here, one of these was in the schools. We went to various schools, actually gathered around children from 9th grade to maybe 12th grade, and exposing them to the themes of the G20 and the themes of the S20 there. And S20 reached out actually to all the corners of the country through several outreach events. And we're going to continue with these because after all, India is going to be chair till the end of November. And we have planned a few more outreach activities in various parts of India, either in schools and colleges, but mainly trying to sort of encourage the young sort of participants, expose them to the S20 activities. Now, this actually summarizes the action points that we have discussed about in Coimbatore, but I will, of course, expand each one of them. As you can see that the clean energy access has been our major first theme, and here the Science20 Academies recommend that the G20 member states take action to enhance energy access. This could be done by leveraging the performance gains and cost reductions in clean energy technologies, especially the renewable energy and the energy storage. Under the theme of universal holistic health, a holistic health approach is useful, and that everybody agreed, not just for science, but also for practice and policy. Such an approach requires a holistic view of all stakeholders, scientists, medical doctors, healthcare professionals, health workers, affected families, individuals, policymakers, and others. The idea here is to reach to the last man on the planet there and make sure that this particular individual remains healthy. And under this citizen science, again, the focus has been on international platforms for emerging technologies, because developing a broad-based venue, platform, or organization to bring together experts from governments, international organizations, academia, and civil society from across the 20 nations will actually be the most important issue. The objective is to provide inputs to guidelines for responsible, just, equitable, safe, and sustainable use of emerging technologies. And under the global digital health initiative, this development mode a platform for digital technologies for the protection, preservation, and reproduction of heritage by strategically planning a set of activities. There should also be an opportunity to synergize with the existing Saudi Arabia and the UNESCO initiative of dive into heritage. So these have been a summary, but I will now a little bit expand on these, all of these 4 points. Not moving, what I do. Yeah. So the agreed action points in clean energy access, I have already spoken about the Science20 Academies recommend that the G20 member states take action to enhance energy access. This could be done by leveraging the performance gains and cost reductions in clean energy technologies, especially the renewable energy and the energy storage. Developing a broad-based venue platform or organization to bring together experts from all stakeholders. The objective is to provide inputs to guidelines for responsible, just, equitable, safe, and sustainable use of these new and emerging technologies. Under the universal holistic health, it is important to have deepening collaboration on traditional medicine and knowledge, exploring evidence-based use of these systems, and how they may complement the existing approaches for modern preventive and curative approaches. This includes scientific research for mechanistic understanding and standardization of knowledge from different systems of traditional medicine and integration of the beneficial practices informed by evidence for complementary use in healthcare. And the next one is the international platform for emerging technologies, and I've already spoken about that. And the need is that while there are some existing experts in this domain, they are mostly national or regional. It is therefore important to get a broader engagement on these topics because the potential benefits and concerns relating to emerging technologies may vary across national contexts and interests, even when the impacts transcend national boundaries. Under the Global Digital Heritage Initiative, better leveraging of science and technology to digital document and to preserve heritage across the globe, including historical sites and artifacts. That is, of course, of great importance. This could be, this could include the development of robust tools to verify and authenticate data backed by the relevant metadata. Towards the end, we sort of pass on the baton to Brazil, who is the chair for 2024. You can see here that Professor Ashutosh Sharma passing on the baton to Professor Marcos, who is the Executive Director of International Affairs of ABC. ABC is the Brazilian Academy called as Academia Brasileira de Sciences, who will be the chair and who is already having into the discussions, in-depth discussion to select a suitable theme for the S20 for the next year. And during that time, of course, India and South Africa will be a part of the TRIOCA. Thank you very much. And I think this was probably my last slide, and this is the slide to thank you all. Thanks a lot for your patient hearing.
Thank you, sir, for your presentation. 本日、科学20共同議長のアシュトシ・シャルマー教授はご都合により急遽参加できなくなりましたので、代わりにインド国立科学アカデミー副学長国際関係前インド医学大学前総長ナインデル・メヘラ教授によりご挨拶とプレゼンをいただきました。ありがとうございました。以上をもちまして、本日のイベント G20 議長国インド科学20重要な進捗と取り組みを終了とさせていただきます。Now we will conclude the event on G20 India's Presidency, Science20, S20, Important Development and Initiatives today. Thank you very much for your participation today. 本日はご参加いただきまして誠にありがとうございました。この後、軽食とネットワーキングセッションをこの会場を出てすぐのフォイヤーで開催いたしますので、ぜひご参加くださいませ。We will have a networking session with light refreshment at the foyer just outside of this venue from now. Please join us. Thank you very much for your participation.